I just want to make it clear. You shouldn't be only relying on supplements. If your goal is to build muscle, you want to get big, you want to get swole, then you need to be relying on real food. They're called supplements for a reason. They're meant to supplement your regular diet, not completely replace it. What's up, everyone? David here. Got a new video for y'all today. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any new videos. Because remember, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So don't miss out. Now, right here, we're going to be talking about supplements right away. The number one thing I want to tell you is I am not telling you to take supplements. If you want to, go for it, but I'm not advocating it. I'm not sponsored by any of these. I have no affiliation with any. I'm just letting you know that I know it's common. Many of you have the goal, especially you guys out there, you gym bros. You take so much protein powders. I know a lot of you have bad sleep, but you rely a lot on the energy drinks, on the pre-workout. It's just the name of the game. Everyone who's into working out at some point or another has probably taken supplements. But I honestly feel like it's getting to a point where we're only relying on these, but we're moving away from actual food sources. I mean, when we really think about it, supplements, the whole reason why they came about, the whole reason why they were created is because they were meant to, again, as the name implies, supplement your regular diet. You know, it was a little hard to constantly be eating, being a caloric surplus. All right, so protein powders came into play. Ah, man, busy work schedule, a lot of responsibilities, just a lot to handle day in, day out on our plate. All right, let's get some caffeine in. I think now people are overdoing it, and they're completely ditching away with what should be a diet consisting of foods, real, natural, whole foods, and we're slowly starting to only rely on this. Man, we got to get away with that. If you want to get big, you want to see the results, whatever it may be in the gym, whatever it is that you're there for, food, real food, should take the priority. So for this video, we're going to be going over some common supplements that I take, that I know many of you take, and what are some natural foods that you can take in place of these. Number one, and probably the most common one, if there's just one supplement that I know everyone has taken at one point or another, especially y'all gym bros out there, protein powder. And I completely understand. When I first started, we all had that same mindset. We thought that all of a sudden taking this magical little powder is going to help us build a muscle, get big, get swole. But in reality, that's not the case. And you know, as you get a little bit more progressed in the gym, you start getting a little more knowledge, you come to realize that there's actually multiple types of protein powders. Each one has their time and place. Again, I'm not telling you that you need to take protein powder. I'm just saying if you struggle to get them through natural sources, that's when it will be acceptable to actually take them in supplement form. So what exactly are the different types of protein powders? Number one, we got the generic way. I mean, this is just kind of like the safe go-to. You can't go wrong with it. Whatever your goal is, just to be healthier, get stronger, build muscle. Essentially, all protein powder is just an easy way to get the protein in. There's no way around it. If your goal is to build muscle, you got to eat protein. I mean, come on now. It should just be common sense. It's what helps us build muscle. But if you're someone like myself, you know, we're a little on the smaller side, you can only force feed so much food throughout the day. Sometimes we need to supplement. We gotta get some calories in, and we gotta get a couple grams of protein in through powder. Because again, just constantly eating non-stop, it can get a little tiresome, especially if you don't have a big appetite like myself. So protein powder, that's essentially what it's for. It's helping you meet your daily protein goals. So whey protein, kind of the safe go-to, can't go wrong with it. Next, we got casein protein, which is a slow digesting protein. So you already know if you're going to be going long periods of time without eating, whether it be back-to-back classes, back-to-back shifts at work, or right before you go to bed, you're going to be going hours sleeping. You got to have a slow digesting protein in your system to keep, you know, actually protein in you so your muscles have something to feed off of. And then the last kind that I included here, and there's many more, but I'm just going to limit it to 3 because these are the 3 that I've taken. Collagen. Now, the collagen is a little specific. I'm not necessarily taking the collagen for meeting my protein goals per se. I'm taking it for hair, skin, and nail health. Again, not necessarily to build muscle, not necessarily to meet my protein goals, but you know, hair, skin, I do tend to break out a lot, so it definitely does come in handy. Nail health, collagen, that's the main thing. It just so happens that it is a peptide, and peptide means protein. So collagen, this is the supplement. But if you want to go with a natural alternative, what I personally do, right here, chicken stock. If you want to go with beef stock, go for it, but it would be even better if you have chicken stock. The reason why is because chicken, the joints, they have plenty more, and our joints are what have the collagen. So when they're broiling, when they're making the stock, obviously they're going to pick some type of animal, something that has a lot of joints, because the more joints it has, the more collagen can get rendered down. that's what we got right here. For the actual whey protein, again, which is just a regular protein powder, kind of just like the safe overall, that's going to vary from person to person what your natural sources consist of. For me personally, again, a lot of this is based off of what I do. I really got two. I got these chicken breast fillets I got from Costco from the frozen section. Game changer, 22 grams of protein per fillet. Or I go right here with my ribeye steaks. Today's meal prep day, so I had these grilled up right here. Look at that, nice, good ribeye steak, nice and charred around the fat. Perfect right here, natural food. These two take priorities, and then if it's one of those days where I'm struggling to get the meals out and I need a little extra, that's when we can go ahead and rely on these. Now, as far as casein protein goes, that's a slow digesting protein. So essentially, this is this. It just takes a lot longer to get out of your system. Milk. Milk, what a lot of people don't know is that a majority of the protein that comes from dairy or milk sources is actually casein protein, slow digesting. So if a typical glass of milk has 8 grams of protein, in reality, 6 of those grams are casein, and then the 2 remaining are regular. So that's a good way to think about it. Why do you think that when you drink a lot of milk, for those who aren't lactose intolerant, you kind of feel heavy, you feel lethargic, you feel like more satiated, you feel fuller because it sits in your system for a longer period of time because it takes longer to digest. So definitely go forth with that. Now, the last bit of protein that I can think of, I wouldn't necessarily call it a supplement, but I definitely see that it's on the rise and it's mainly more for a snacking purpose. Protein bars. Now, I feel like nowadays, if you put the word protein in front of any food, gym bros are gonna buy it. I've seen protein Pop-Tarts, protein muffins, protein cookies. I find it funny that we're taking these foods that are typically carbs and we're finding a way to add protein to it. All of a sudden, that's a good marketing tactic. People are gonna buy it. But as far as protein bars, protein snacks, whatever you wanna say, there's nothing wrong with it if you wanna take it. Again, it is a good snack as long as you're not treating that as a meal replacement. Because again, everything should revolve around real food. But even my snacks, I would prefer if they were from natural sources or at least a little bit healthier, a little bit not so processed. So instead of protein bars, I go with string cheese. I mean, they taste great. Who doesn't love cheese? Unless you're lactose intolerant, and then it sucks for you. But I love string cheese. I mean, it's so easy to get these down. They're great for when you're traveling, going on a hike, whatever it may be. 6 to 8 grams of protein per stick, depending on how many you eat. And it's so easy to eat 3 of them. I could eat these 3 right now, get 18 to 20 grams of protein, and I feel a lot fuller and I feel a lot better. And they taste a lot better, in my opinion, than these, because, you know, some of these, the texture itself is kind of like Play-Doh. I don't know. But that's just my honest opinion. So even when your snacks, try to go with the better alternatives. Cheese, I feel like it's often overlooked. Pretty high in protein and very minimal in calories. So now onto the most addicting substance. We already established any type of protein-based supplement is to help you build the muscle. And the only way that you build muscle is by actually lifting weights in the gym. Now, what do we do when we're feeling a little tired and we don't feel like working out? We need an energy boost. That's where caffeine comes into play. I'm telling you, caffeine is probably the most overly used supplement you can think of. Doesn't even matter if it already comes pre-made in some type of beverage. Doesn't matter if it's already in a powder. Doesn't matter if it's any type of chewable. I'm telling you, many of you are overdoing it with caffeine, myself included. We all got caffeine addictions. You know, you got to do what you got to do. The caffeine is what gives us energy right before the workout to push hard and make those gains. But oftentimes overdone through energy drinks and pre-workouts. Now, whatever brand of energy drink you get, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it all does the same thing. I got Reign, I got Celsius. They all do the same thing. They all got excessive amounts of caffeine. The only difference is just how much. Most of the time, they all have 200 milligrams, but if you get the bigger cans, something like Reign, you got 300 milligrams. And then you got the actual pre-workout containers. So different amounts of servings, different brands, different flavors, whatever it may be. At the end of the day, caffeine is caffeine. You take it before your workout, and hopefully, if you don't have as bad of an addiction, and maybe your tolerance is not as high as it should be, it will actually, make you feel a little something. But it is very addicting, and you can build up your tolerance. So what used to be 1 scoop of pre-workout was enough to get you going throughout your workout. But, you've been working out consistently, you've been overdoing it with the caffeine. Now you got a tolerance to it. 1 scoop isn't going to do you anything. So now you're going to go to 2 to 3 to 4 scoops, or you might even take 1 scoop and down it with an entire drink. At the end of the day, you're just putting yourself at a risk of a heart attack a lot sooner. But like I said, you got to do what you got to do. Anything for those gains, right? There are better alternatives. Now, me, myself, I do have a massive caffeine addiction. I do admit it. But lately, what I've been trying to do is doing away with the supplements in terms of caffeine and try to aim for something a little bit more natural. Again, the caffeine addiction is still there. The amount of milligrams that I'm taking throughout the day is still excessively high. But it's one of those situations where I got to look at what's bad and what's worse. Because at the end of the day, they're all probably bad for me. Coffee. Nothing fancy, just regular black coffee. I don't add any creamer, I don't add any sugar, nothing. Just get the water boiling, a couple scoops of Folger, right there. That's really all I'm taking for my caffeine. Again, I'm really trying to minimize the amount of caffeine that I take through the supplements, energy drinks, pre-workouts, etc., all that stuff. I'm trying to keep it to this. Flip side, we keep saying that this is for energy, but what if it doesn't wear out in time? What if it's bedtime, trying to go to sleep, but you still got that caffeine running your system, but you want to fall asleep? That's where melatonin comes in. And I actually don't have any right here, but I used to also take melatonin gummies. Again, I ran now, so I wish I had the visual, but I'm pretty sure you've all seen it. They either come in 5 milligram melatonin gummies or 10 milligrams. Regardless, melatonin is melatonin. What does it do? Makes you feel tired, makes you fall asleep. So you take it right before going to bed, and then boom, hopefully it knocks you out. You got to really look out for your health. I mean, we're using all this caffeine to get our heart rate excessively high and give us energy. And then if it doesn't wear out in time, we're taking melatonin to decrease our heart rate. Man, our heart doesn't know what to do. Sooner or later, it's just going to cancel out. Done. So what I did during that time of when I was realizing maybe I should do away with this, I'm kind of relying a little too much on the melatonin. I need natural sources to get myself in a deeper sleep so I can recover properly for my workouts. That's for this little guy right here. Natural alternative for melatonin gummies, tart cherry juice. And believe me, when it says tart, yeah, it's tart. You really think about the worst cranberry juice you've ever drank, the tartest cranberry juice, and this is even more than that. Believe me, when it says tart, you feel it. It's like not necessarily sour, but tart cherry juice has a lot of natural melatonin in it. So this is a much healthier natural alternative to actually overdoing it with the gummies. So again, one of these raises our energy, the other one decreases it. So while caffeine gives you energy right before you work out to actually push hard in the gym, what is actually the energy that the muscle itself uses to actually have the ability to contract? Creatine. Right off the gate, everyone can benefit from creatine. Elderly population that's already going through muscle atrophy, they're losing their muscle due to age. Generic people that, don't necessarily, work out, but, trying to make an effort to improve their health. Actual people that work out, creatine can be used for anyone. 5 grams a day, maybe even 10 grams a day will work wonders. Creatine right here, this is the chemical source of energy for muscle contraction. Gasoline is what runs a car. Creatine is what fuels a muscle contraction. Once you start fatiguing throughout your workout and you start getting tired, you're pushing, getting the last few reps, number 8, you barely got it out. The reason why you can't do number 9 is because you're running out of creatine. So let's supplement it, and realistically, there's no natural alternative for this. The closest thing I can think of is maybe red meat steak. It has somewhat a decent amount of creatine, but the amount of red meat you'll have to eat to consume 5 whole grams of creatine, it's not worth it. Just supplement it. Now, these little guys, last one that we'll talk about today, not necessarily, I would say, a supplement, but depending on how picky or how natural you want to look about it, electrolytes. I sweat a lot when I work out. I mean, I already dripped on the table. You saw me going like that earlier. I mean, it's hot out here. I sweat excessively. When you sweat out, though, water alone is not going to replenish everything that's going out. You got to replenish the sugars, the electrolytes, the salts. So a lot of people do it through some type of powder. And I wouldn't necessarily say it's a supplement. This is just Gatorade powder. But, some people have the IV packets, whatever. If you want to consider that as a supplement, okay, fine. And if you're really picky about getting it through natural sources, okay, fine. Do away with that. Get your water, add some salt to it. But here's the thing. You gotta be real picky about what kind of salt you have. Because if I were to just use the sea salt, which is still healthy, has its health benefits, but it has a very fine print on there. It says this salt does not supply iodine, a necessary nutrient. That's something that we have to replenish when we're sweating. So go ahead, and if you are going to be getting salt, right here, get the little yellow lady or whatever other brand you want, iodinized salt or iodized salt, however you pronounce it. Just make sure it has iodine, because you're going to be sweating a lot. It's summertime. It's only going to get hotter from here on out, especially you live in California, LA. You already know it's super hot. It's brutal. We're going to be sweating. Replenish it. The last thing you want is to feel super lightheaded when you're working out. No. Replenish what it is that you lost. A little bit more natural. Nothing too bad about using this. So just make sure you're staying properly hydrated, drinking enough water throughout the day. So there you have it, everyone. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you did, and also comment down below any other video suggestions you'd like to see me do, whether it be about mindset, motivation, nutrition, diets, workouts, programs, whatever it is. Comment down below. I'd be more than happy to help you all out. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss on any new videos, because remember, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, so don't miss out. And on Instagram and TikTok, same thing. Be sure to follow me on both accounts. I put all my links down in the description below. With that being said, I'll catch y'all next time.